5 men went out on a normal winter night in 1978. They were not criminals, not adventurers, just ordinary friends. They went to watch a basketball game and enjoy the night together. But none of them knew this would be the last time anyone ever saw them alive. What happened after they left that arena still has no clear answer. Earlier that evening, everything felt completely normal. They drove together to Chico, California to watch a college basketball game. They laughed, talked, and enjoyed the match like any other group of friends. Nothing seemed strange. Nothing felt wrong. But normal nights can change in just one decision. After the game ended, they left the stadium together. They got into their car and started driving home. It was supposed to be a short, familiar trip back, but somewhere along the way, they made a choice that changed everything. They did not return to the highway they should have taken. Instead of heading home, they drove deeper into the mountains. The road became narrower, colder, and completely empty. No houses, no lights, no signs of life. Only darkness and forest on both sides. And still, they kept going forward. This is the last confirmed direction they were ever seen traveling. At some point, deep in the mountains, the car stopped. 5 men stepped out into freezing air. No one knows what they were thinking or what they believed they were following. After that moment, they vanished into silence. A few days later, the search finally led somewhere. Deep in the mountains, far from any town, they found it. A car, abandoned in the snow. It didn't belong there, and the deeper question was, why did it end up so far from their intended route? What made it stranger was the condition of the car. There were no signs of a crash, no broken windows, no damage. It looked perfectly intact, as if it had simply been left there on purpose. Inside the car, everything was still there. Food wrappers, personal belongings, nothing missing, nothing disturbed. It didn't look like they planned to leave for long. Something didn't make sense. The car still had fuel. The road, while difficult, was still passable. They could have turned back. So why did they stop here? The strangest part wasn't the car. It was the decision. They didn't run out of fuel. They weren't trapped. And yet, they left everything behind and walked straight into the freezing wilderness. They didn't stay in the car. At some point, they made a decision to step out into the freezing night. No proper gear, no clear destination. Just 5 men walking away from safety. The road didn't lead to safety. It led deeper into the mountains, into colder air, into darker terrain. And somehow, they kept going. They could have turned back. The car was still there. The road behind them still open. But they didn't stop. They didn't hesitate. They just kept walking. There were no signs, no lights, no buildings, nothing to guide them. Just an endless stretch of cold, silent wilderness. Something about it wasn't right. People don't just walk into the wilderness like this, not at night, not unprepared. So what made them do it? Before we go further, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because the next part of this story gets even more disturbing, and you don't want to miss the real mysteries that shocked the world. Now, let's continue. Hours passed, but it didn't feel like time anymore. The cold was getting worse. Each step sank deeper into the snow, slowing them down, draining what little energy they had left. They kept walking. No lights, no sound, no sign of where they were going. Just darkness and freezing air cutting through their bodies. And then something changed. Not the weather, not the path, something about them. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Their bodies weren't built for this. No proper clothing, no supplies. Step by step, they were losing strength. At some point, something started to change. Their pace was no longer the same. One of them slowed down, just a little at first, then another. The distance between them began to grow. Step by step, the silence felt heavier. For the first time, they weren't walking together anymore. This wasn't just exhaustion. Something felt off. People don't walk like this, into nowhere, not without reason. So what were they following? And then it happened. At first, no one noticed. They just kept walking, step after step, into the cold, silent forest. But one of them stopped, not to rest, not to look around. He just stood there, completely still. No movement, no sound. And the others didn't turn back. They kept going, as if nothing was wrong. And no one said his name, not even once, like he had already disappeared from them. They kept walking. No one looked back. No one spoke about it. But something felt wrong. The forest was the same, but the silence wasn't. And then they noticed it. One of them wasn't there anymore. Not running, not calling, just gone. Days later, their condition was collapsing. Somehow, they reached a remote Forest Service trailer. There were supplies inside, food, heat, shelter, but it wasn't enough. The cold had already taken too much. One by one, they began to weaken, and no one came. No one knows exactly what happened inside that place, but the evidence tells a simple story. They stayed there for some time, cold, hungry, lost, and slowly they stopped moving. One by one, they disappeared from sight, until there was nothing left. Just silence. Weeks later, search teams arrived. They found traces, a trailer, some supplies, and signs that they had been there. But what they didn't find was the group. No clear answers, no final moment, no closure. Just an empty forest that kept its silence.
Which way?
They were never supposed
I don't
to
know.
be there. Not that far. Not in those conditions. And yet, they kept walking. Into the cold. Into the dark. Until they were gone. No clear reason. No final answer. Just a trail that ended in silence. The next episode, on Christmas Eve, 1945, a fire destroyed a family home. Inside, 5 children were sleeping. 3 boys, 2 girls, ages between 5 and 14. Their parents escaped. Some of their siblings survived. But those 5 children never made it out. The fire burned everything, or at least that's what it should have done. Because when the flames were gone, there was nothing left. No bones, no bodies, nothing. And that's when the real mystery began. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.